juncture.
We'll see later on.
Let us see some other times. And then we are waiting for the time to come. Again, the next is Shopside, this Sales Promotion Act, which is, I think, a burning issue as on date.
For all the pharma industry.
For all the pharma industries.
Yeah.
Now, at one hand, we are speaking of flexi hours.
Just one sec.
Yeah.
Can anybody guess, other than the pharma people here, that what is the approximate holidays a workman is entitled to under Sales Promotion Act in a year? Any idea? Any guesses?
25.
Sorry?
25.
Anybody couldn't do better than that?
Any better figure?
Better means higher, huh? I'm not talking lower.
Our, roughly when we calculated it, by taking into consideration all types of leave, if as a MR I want to avail, I can remain at home with pay for not less than 100 days.
No. In addition are the 52 Sundays.
So, my industry will be paying me for not working. Anyhow, now, when we come to this act, the world is speaking of flexi timings and progress, all those things. Earlier, we all know that we used to see MRs, whenever we used to visit doctor at 9 o'clock, MR was waiting to meet the doctor for his appointment. Now about from 2-3 years, a big move is going on, and to a great extent they are successful, thereby fixing the hours of work, timings of work, not only hours. Hours of work are given that 8 hours, but then they were having flexi hours as per his convenience and his location. He was taking a call that, okay, I have to visit 8 doctors and 4 chemists, and that in a day I am supposed to complete a target of 15 or 12 as given by the management that I have to do in my area. So I was, as a MR, I was deciding my timings, my priorities, that whom to meet and how to meet, and I was ensuring that business is done. Unfortunately, after getting these MRs organized, a move has taken place wherein they are successful in many states, that their timings are fixed, resulting into MR says, I will work between 9 to 12 and then 6 to 9 or 5 to 8. Now, between 9 to 12, if I want to see a doctor or I go to hospital as a MR, doctor is busy in operations, etc. He is not available for me. I go there, I say, I had come between 9 to 12, you are not available, I am going. Doctor was not available, I did not. Same thing happens in the evening. Then, for the purpose for which that person is employed, that gets defeated. And now, there are notifications issued. Those notifications are entered into litigation. At some stage, there is stay. In some stage, there is no stay. Pharma industry is fighting on those issues, and that fight is going on. So, ultimately, what has resulted into increase in litigation instead of solving the problem. It has added to the problems.
Similarly, about the flexi timings, as I gave the earlier example of the hotel industry, or even the shopping malls and even the other cafes which are open all throughout the night. We have visited Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, Bangkok, maybe 1980s. They are open 24 hours. Here, we are having the restrictions. In fact, in 2005, we had given Mr. Nawab Malik, the then minister, the mandate that you should go ahead, but then there was opposition from the police on grounds of criminalization, etc. Now, if you read the 19th February's newspaper, again they are talking of extension of timings, mainly supported by Mr. Raj Thackeray, I think, Raj Thackeray sir? Yeah, Uddhav Thackeray sir. So this is what they are talking of now. But they are now also restricting to certain sectors. My contention is, I am a tourist, I am an American, I am a New Zealander, I am a French. Question is, when I want to arrange for my trip, I want to get the best of facilities at all times. this is global competition. As regards even the hotel industry is concerned, we are associated with that. We find our rates in India much more than the rates abroad. So I find it cheaper to fly down, go there, stay for a weekend and come back and yet have the limited amount of cost.
The next burning act what we see is of Mathadi Act, Mathadi and Hamal Act. Unfortunately, Shinde Sahab has left. But now that act is such that there are 9 schemes under that act. Unfortunately, not a single scheme is available in the market. Unions, mushroom growth, they come at your doorstep. You have to implement the act. Management says, by which scheme, which act? Nothing. Nothing is available.
The inspector gives us the copy surreptitiously, as if he's obliging us. He gives it very surreptitiously. He buys Xerox kadun ana, he kanwala konala sangu naka. That is how we get copies of the bloody Mathadi Act. Government has to take steps to make the law applicable but available to everyone. This is one of our contentions. In fact, this is what we wanted to tell the minister had he come.
One thing which just I recollected the thing which I have faced while litigating, there is a statute, Equal Remuneration Act, which says that there should not be discrimination on gender in respect of payment of wages. So that Equal Remuneration Act is there. About 10 years back, we had an appeal in High Court under Equal Remuneration Act. That appeal came before a division bench of Bombay High Court for final hearing. The Honorable Court just listened us for 5 minutes and then said, okay, advocates, counsels, please wait. This act, as a judge, I am hearing for the first time. My library doesn't have a copy. Please make available a copy of the act. Let me go through. We meet after 8 days, and after 8 days, that hearing was conducted. But this is the means acts, so many acts, multiplicity, and then judiciary also at times finds it difficult that what do we do with so many acts? Recently, Mr. Narendra Modi, our Prime Minister, was here in a function of Advocates Association celebrating completion of 150 years. At that time, our Prime Minister acknowledged the judicial system, but at the same time he voiced his concern about too many legislations. He says, I am going to scrap legislations in thousands which are non-implementable, means they are of no use as on date, and some amendments are required. Now, when it will happen, how it will happen, in a time coming, will tell us. Now, we next go to how we see that India versus world in respect of labor laws. Now, when we studied various legislations of various countries, about 10 countries we had a study of those legislations, and what we noticed is that the laws over there in respect of appointments, terminations are more or less same. We speak of categories of workers, temporary, trainee, probationer, permanent, apprentice. They do also have same type of categories. We speak of retrenchment, dismissal, discharge, loss of confidence. They also do have same type of provisions. Then the question is, why big hue and cry is being made in respect of Indian laws? We fail to understand. As regards Bangladesh is concerned, what we found is that the act, Minimum Wages Act, they call that act, is linked with production productivity. It speaks of Minimum Productivity Act. So your wage is linked with production and productivity. You produce more, earn more. That's how they look at it. Why we can't look to such things from that angle?
Secondly, amongst the various countries we have studied the Southeast Asian countries, Korea, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Taiwan, Thailand, Philippines, China. Then we have also done a study for France, Germany, Italy and US. only Italy has the hire and fire law. No other country has in the world. So it is not that our laws are draconian laws as made out. The laws are there. In fact, I'll also share one example to all of you all. One of the foreign MNCs, they came to us in December through some friend of ours, and they have a manufacturing unit in Chakan and in Aurangabad. They say that we want to shut down in India. We want to walk out of India. And when we ask them why, between Paranjma and myself, they say that our HR manager has told us that you cannot take action for a person who comes late, you cannot take action for a person who's inefficient, you cannot take action for a person who's absent, you cannot take action against a person who refuses to do the assigned work. I told him, first sack that HR manager. Believe me, because in India the laws are so simple. There are two aspects. One is the practical side, one is the legal side. I am talking legal side. The legal side is continuous inefficiency is not a misconduct in law. No need of charge sheet and inquiry. This is our opinion in English. That if a man is continuously inefficient, courts say train him, help him. If he doesn't have the capability, terminate him, no problems. The only requirement is training. The only requirement is pay him compensation as if retrenched. No charge sheet, no inquiry is required, it is not a misconduct. Similarly, if a man is continuously absent, there is something known as continued ill health. Even retrenchment does not apply to that. Then there is fixed tenure. Then the man for refusal, there is a judgment of our Bombay High Court of Sarabhai Chemicals. A single act of disobedience is sufficient to terminate him. It is not that you should have series of acts. If there are series of acts, the company's courts are sympathetic towards you. What if the man refuses to work? The impression the HR manager had told the management was, ते माणसं कामावर आला होता, हजर होता, hence he is liable to be paid. What we told them, जब तक वो काम नहीं करता है उसको पैसा नहीं मिलेगा. प्रेजेंट होने के लिए पैसा नहीं मिलता है, काम करने के लिए पैसा मिलता है. They were all shocked. So this is the impression which people carry or which people are getting. It is not so. The laws are simple in India. अगर एक आदमी misconduct करता है, you have a right to suspend, you have a right to charge sheet. The union certainly will play their role. They will try to defend. But it is how you manage. Now, how we create a culture in India is depending on us. We have one client who had made a system. Managing director used to sit in the office in a jewelry unit in SEEPs, जहां पे 10 unions हैं in SEEPs, in the jewelry units. वो बैठता था 8:30 बजे, 9 बजे फैक्ट्री शुरू होती थी, 9:05 वर्कर आता था, वो उसको बोलता था स्ट्रेट कॉरिडोर से जा, हिसाब ले, घर चला जा. There was never a union, there was never a dispute, there was never a discipline action needed. People knew the law. काम करना है, आओ, पैसा लो, fairness है. It depends. Laws are there as a backup. They are not as the forefront. This is what my contention is. It is how you run your industry which makes the difference in the law. No doubt. Laws are needed to protect the people, whether it is the management, whether it is the unions. But the fact is the balancing factors. So we can't simply say that, okay, because there are some hire and fire laws in America, that we need to make the changes in the labor laws in India. First change, according to me, is the mindset of the people. कि हमको काम करना है. I'm also sharing with you one example. Pranjbhai will agree. We have a client in Nasik having 300 plus workmen. जब उनका यूनियन का सेटलमेंट खत्म होता है, that ends on 31st December of a particular year, say 2014. They are terminating it 2 months in advance in October. They are sitting with management for negotiations. कितना productivity चाहिए बताओ? And they settle it before 1st of January. And for the last 3 settlements, we have seen that the implementation of new production is there. Uske baad they sit and talk, now talk about increase in money. We have increased as per your requirement the productivity. Now you tell us how much money you are giving. The recent settlement we signed was 10 days, 15 days back. Third settlement. So it is not that everywhere there is an issue. It is how we as a management tackle the situation or how we are ready to face the situation. This is what I wanted to actually share with you all. So it is not only the laws which make a difference, it is the human being and the approach of the management which makes the difference. अभी एक है productivity. So there are so many companies, Dr. साहब के साथ हमने मिलके काम किया है. There are so many companies in Nasik who are saying, okay, we are signing most. We are signing productivity agreements. You talk about the money part. And we are proud to be signing this. Because we know one thing for sure, that if there is efficiency, if there is productivity, costings is the secondary factor. Today what I find personally, even Pranjway will agree with me, is that we find that it is first that the HR manager needs to be whipped up his passions. He needs to perform. In one of the forums we have given the example of an HR manager. When we had entered, we were served, Ramesh is there, Ramesh had served us sandwiches, Thana forum. He gave us chutney sandwiches. तो मैंने एक भाषण में कहा कि मतलब all HR managers feel they are like the chutney sandwich. They are chutneyed between the two breads. I say my interpretation is different. A chutney sandwich is the HR manager who is actually the binding force between the two breads. That is the workman and the management. That is the role you have to play. So, possibility of production is there, discipline is there. It depends on how we look at it as a management. Laws are there in support. But the Labour Commissioner's office also needs to look into it in a very aggressive way. For example, in Nasik, the previous Deputy Labour Commissioner whom we knew of, he used to sit till 4 in the morning to sign settlements. We have signed settlements. Dr. साहब के साथ sign किया हमने. 4 बजे तक वो काम करता था without any expectation of going home and eating food. Similarly, one of the proposals we have given to the government is that when there is a go-slow in the manufacturing units, depute your officer to the place. See that there is a go-slow, what is the cause, find a solution, rather than you calling the parties once every 15 days. Proactiveness of the government is a must. This is our message to everyone. And our message, especially to our President, Prabodh Bhai, is, through IMC, is, why we have done this is to bring awareness as a social culture amongst our people. This is mainly to bring the social awareness. And we would request our President to have such more forums so that we also interact with the government on a tripartite basis, which we have tried today also. Pranjway would like to add? So now, yeah. Can we now, we have taken a lot of time of yours and we wanted to share this aspect. We would now throw it open for question and answers to the people. To our panel, whoever are here. Announcements I would like to make before we start this question answer session. One is that we are doing a video recording of today's proceedings. You can check with the IMC Secretariat and collect a copy of that, whatever the charges I would not know, that you can check up with them. Second is that post this immediately dinner is ready, so we'll be serving dinner. The third is before I forget, this is my family here. My daughter Vedika is there, lawyer, Vanchaj, my son, Brahmankar and Babu, my colleagues from Nasik, Mr. Bhole from Thane. So and Radha and Raju and all my staff. Radha is the one, Radha Krishnan, who has been following with you all for the presence. And Alka and Sagina are also here with us. Have I missed anybody? Huh? So thanks to all of you all.
Hi. Okay. My name is Pratik Vaidya. First of all, fantastic conference, Mr. Puri and Mr. Paranjpe. Thank you for inviting us. My question to anyone of the panel, Mr. Anna Dumal, he mentioned that, you know, organized corporate sector is around 5 to 5.5%, right, sir? That's what you mentioned. So we talk about unorganized sector around 95%. When we talk about compliances, as Mr. Puri mentioned, you know, we're talking about Industrial Dispute Act and all the compliances, more into, you know, factories and everything. We're talking about more of, you know, into organized sector. There are major non-compliances in unorganized sector as such, and there is no provision or no protection of those workmen. So what about those laws or those, conditions? Because what we always see is that, you know, organized sector, corporates and everyone, they have unions, we have all the laws set up for them. But what about unorganized sector, you know? How long, I mean, what are the provisions or what are benefits for them? Anyone of you want to answer that?
अनऑर्गनाइज सेक्टरसाठी खरोखरच ज्यांचं कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन 64% हिंदुस्थानच्या इकॉनॉमीमध्ये, त्यांच्यासाठी काही कायदे नाहीत ही वस्तुस्थिती आहे. आणि कामगार संघटना हा प्रयत्न करत आहे, डोमेस्टिक वर्कर आहेत, कन्स्ट्रक्शन वर्कर आहेत, यांच्यासाठी कायदे करावेत. आणि अनऑर्गनाइज सेक्टरसाठी एक अनऑर्गनाइज सेक्टर वर्कर्स वेलफेअर ॲक्ट 2008 मध्ये पार्लमेंटने मंजूर केलेला आहे, परंतु त्याचं इम्प्लिमेंटेशन संबंध देशामध्ये कुठेही झालेलं नाही. ॲक्च्युअली हे फार मोठं कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन आपल्या सोसायटीमधलं, की एका बाजूला काम करणाऱ्या लोकांना चांगलं वेतन मिळतं, थोड्या लोकांना चांगलं, आणि बहुसंख्य लोकांना चांगलं वेतन पण नाही आणि चांगल्या सर्व्हिस कंडिशन पण नाहीत. हे खूप मोठं हे कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन आहे. मला स्वतःला असं वाटतं की अनऑर्गनाइज सेक्टरमध्ये काम करणारे जे लोक आहेत त्यांच्यासाठी एक अगोदर अम्ब्रेला ॲक्ट जो झालेला आहे त्याच्या आधारे खाली रूल्स फ्रेम झाले पाहिजेत. राज्यामध्ये रूल्स फ्रेम झाले पाहिजेत. जसं कन्स्ट्रक्शन वर्कर ॲक्ट, सेंट्रल ॲक्ट 1995 मध्ये झाला आणि महाराष्ट्रामध्ये तो 2010 मध्ये इम्प्लिमेंट व्हायला सुरुवात झाली. इतके वर्ष लागले. तसं सरकारची विल नाहीये, सरकार हे करत नाहीये, ब्युरोक्रेसीला काही पडलेलं नाही आणि अनऑर्गनाइज सेक्टरमधल्या कामगारांची तेवढी मोठी चळवळ नाहीये, त्यामुळे हे सगळं होत आहे. परंतु त्यांच्यासाठी कायदा झाला पाहिजे. आता हे जे काही आमचे काही आंदोलनं, संयुक्त आंदोलनं चालू आहे, त्याच्यामध्ये मुख्य मुद्दा आमचा आहे की असंघटित क्षेत्रातल्या कामगारांसाठी सामाजिक सुरक्षा लागू करा. त्याच्यामध्ये पेन्शन आहे, त्याच्यामध्ये अपघात विमा योजना आहे, त्याच्यामध्ये आजारपणाचा विमा आहे, कामाचे तास आहे, सुट्ट्या आहेत, ह्या गोष्टी त्यांना लागू झाल्या पाहिजेत, ही आमची मागणी आहे. सरकारकडे तुम्ही पण बोललात तर एक असं लेबर मार्केट तयार होईल ज्याला क्वालिटी लेबर मार्केट म्हणतो. बऱ्यापैकीचे म्हणजे चांगल्या दर्जाचा रोजगार ही एकच गॅरंटी आहे इंटरनल मार्केट उभं राहण्यासाठी. किती प्रोडक्शन केलं तर ते खपायला पाहिजे. खपायचं असेल तर लोकांकडे पैसा असला पाहिजे. मगाशी मी सांगितल्याप्रमाणे 45% लोक शहरामधले आणि 80% लोक ग्रामीण भागातले 50 रुपयापेक्षा कमी खर्च रोज करतात. म्हणजे याचा अर्थ ते फारसं मार्केटमध्ये येतच नाही. ते जर मार्केटमध्ये आले, त्यांचं वेतन वाढलं आणि ते जर मार्केटमध्ये आले तर मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग सेक्टरला फार मोठं उधाण येऊ शकतं आणि मोठ्या प्रमाणात एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेट होऊ शकतं. त्या दृष्टीने तुम्ही जो प्रश्न विचारला तो महत्त्वाचा आहे. सरकारने याच्याकडे लक्ष दिलं पाहिजे. मला असं वाटतं की खूप चांगली भूमिका एम्प्लॉयर साईडनं पण घेतली जाते. जी इंडियन लेबर कॉन्फरन्स झाली त्या इंडियन लेबर कॉन्फरन्समध्ये एम्प्लॉयर साईडनी पण सांगण्यात आलं की असंघटित कामगारांसाठी हा कायदा झाला पाहिजे. म्हणजे सगळ्यांचं एकमत झालेलं आहे. असे अनेक, मी प्रभोशीचे आता बोलत होतो की अनेक मुद्द्यावर एम्प्लॉयर्स, एम्प्लॉईज युनियन्स आणि सरकार यांच्यामध्ये एकमत झालेलं आहे, परंतु त्याचे कायदे केले जात नाहीयेत. मगाशी धुमाळ ते सांगत होते अनेक गोष्टीवर ते केलंच जात नाहीये. सरकारला काही वेळ नाही, कळत नाहीये. परंतु ह्या गोष्टी व्हायला पाहिजेत तरच खऱ्या अर्थानं आपण ज्याला प्रगती म्हणतो, विकास म्हणतो ते होऊ शकेल.
आता मी संदीपजींनी आता काही इश्यूज रेज केले त्याच्या संबंधातले मला काही सांगायचे मला वाटतंय की प्रॉव्हिडंट फंडाच्या बाबतीमध्ये मिनिमम वेजेस ऍक्टच्या बाबतीमध्ये इम्प्लिमेंटेशनच्या विषयात किंवा किमान आम्ही टोटल पैसे देतोय की नाही, त्याच्यामध्ये आम्ही किती भाग बेसिक दाखवला, किती भाग आम्ही स्पेशल अलाउन्स दाखवला, असा विषय यांनी केला. तर मला असं वाटतं की हा इश्यूज का रेज होतो, तर हा इश्यू याच्यासाठी रेज होतो की या विषयाशी संबंधित बाकीचे जे बेनिफिट्स आहेत त्याच्यावर त्याचा परिणाम होतो. म्हणजे आता तुम्ही बेसिक आणि डीएवर प्रॉव्हिडंट फंड देता, तुम्हाला तो वाचवायचा आहे, तो कमी करायचा आहे, म्हणून तुम्ही बेसिक आणि स्पेशल अलाउन्स हा कमी दाखवता, हा त्याच्यातला मेन मुद्दा आहे. तर आमची मानसिकता असं का नाही की बघ किमान 6,500 आहे तर आम्ही त्याच्यावर देऊ ना. जे मूळ वेतन जे आहे, मूळ वेतनाच्या आधारावर जर बाकीच्या गोष्टी असेल तर आम्ही मूळ वेतन याच्यापेक्षा कमी ठेवणार नाही. अशा प्रकारची मानसिकता व्यवस्थापनाची का असू शकत नाही, असा माझा विषय. आता याच्यामध्ये सोल्युशन निघतं आहे. प्रॉव्हिडंट फंडाचा जो कायदा आहे, आत्ताच ट्रस्ट बोर्डची 2 दिवसापूर्वी मिटिंग झाली, तर त्याच्यामध्ये वेजेसची जी डेफिनेशन आहे तीच ते बदलत आहे. ओव्हरऑल त्याला बेसिक वेजेस नाही, ग्रॉस वेजेस 15,000 पर्यंत असेल तर त्याला ते लागू होणार. आणि एकदा असं जर झालं तर मग तुमची समस्या सुटून जाईल, तुम्हाला ते ऍडजस्टमेंट करण्यात बसण्याची गरज पडणार नाही, असं मला वाटतं. दुसरी गोष्ट मला तर मूळ मुद्दा मानसिकतेचा आहे. आपण मानसिकता बदलली पाहिजे किंवा हा आम्हाला सोशल सिक्युरिटी द्यायची आहे. छोटे छोटे आणि अगदी प्रॉव्हिडंट फंड वाचून फार काय कंपनीचा फायदा होतो, मला असं वाटतं की फार फायदा होत नाही. पण जशी कामगारांनी मानसिकता बदलण्याची गरज आहे, तसा व्यवस्थापनाच्या भागातूनही मानसिकता बदलण्याची गरज आहे, त्याचा भाग आहे. दुसरी गोष्ट आहे की लेबर लॉसच्या बाबतीमध्ये डॉक्टरांनी सांगितलेला विषय आहे की सेकंड इंडियन लेबर कॉन्फरन्स झालेली आहे, सेकंड इंडियन लेबर कमिशन झालेलं आहे. तर याच्यामध्ये मालक आणि कामगारांनी अनेक लेबर लॉजमध्ये चेंजेस करण्यासंबंधामध्ये एकमत केलेलं आहे. त्यामध्ये आयडी ऍक्ट आहे, त्याच्यामध्ये पेमेंट ऑफ ग्रॅच्युटीज ऍक्ट आहे, अनेक विषय आहेत की ज्याच्यावर दोन्ही पक्षांचं एकमत झालं आहे. तर आमच्या सरकारला असं म्हणणं आहे की तुम्ही आता जे चेंजेस करण्याची जी घाई करताय, तर ती घाई करण्याच्या ऐवजी सेकंड इंडियन लेबर कमिशन असेल किंवा याच्यामध्ये ज्या द्विपक्षीय विषयावर एकमत झालेलं आहे त्याच्यामध्ये आधी तुम्ही इम्प्लिमेंट करा. नवीन विषयाच्या मध्ये हात घालण्याच्या ऐवजी त्याच्यावर तुम्ही लक्ष कॉन्सन्ट्रेट करा. ते जर केलं तर मालक, कामगार आणि सरकारने एकमत केलेलं असल्यामुळे त्याच्यामध्ये कोणालाही गरज असण्याचं कारण नाही. आणि त्या ज्या काही चेंजेस केले जातील त्या इझिली सगळ्यांना ऍक्सेप्टेबल होतील आणि त्या इन द फेवर ऑफ नेशन असतील, नॉट फॉर पर्टिक्युलर सेक्टर. म्हणजे त्या मालकांच्या फायद्याच्या असतील किंवा कामगारांच्या फायद्याच्या असतील असं असणार नाही. त्यामुळे ते केलं पाहिजे अशी आमची त्यांच्याकडे मागणी आहे. आता दुसरा विषय जो आहे की लेबर लॉजमध्ये चेंजेसचा आमचं म्हणणं आहे की आम्हाला पण चेंजेस पाहिजेत. कामगार संघटनांना साहेबांनी सांगितलं की स्टँडिंग ऑर्डरचा विषय त्यांनी घेतला की त्याच्यामध्ये स्पेसिफिकेशन नाही आहे, त्याचा इंटरप्रिटेशन केलं जातं. माझं म्हणणं कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट लेबर ऍक्टमध्ये सुद्धा इंटरप्रिटेशनला खूप वाव आहे. आज सेक्शन 10 आहे, पेरिनियल नेचरचा विषय आहे आणि त्याचा जो फायदा घेऊन आज कॉन्ट्रॅक्टचं सगळीकडे जे काय म्हणतात त्याला चंगळवाद सुरू झालेला आहे किंवा मोठ्या प्रमाणावर कॉन्ट्रॅक्टायझेशन झालेलं आहे. का झालं? पेरिनियल नेचरचं जर स्पेसिफिक जर त्या ठिकाणी इंटरप्रिटेशन करण्याची गरजच ठेवली नाही की हे काम जर 6 महिन्यापेक्षा जास्त चालणार असेल तर त्या ठिकाणी कुठल्याही प्रकारचं कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट लेबर एम्प्लॉय करू नका. फक्त पिरियड झाला, विषय संपून जातील. इंडस्ट्रीज मधला मेजर आज डिस्प्यूटचा विषय हा कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट लेबर आहे आणि कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट लेबरच्या माध्यमातून एक्सप्लॉटेशन हा आहे. हा जर विषय संपला तर आपले अनेक विषय संपू शकतात. त्यामुळे कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट लेबर ऍक्ट आहे, मिनिमम वेजेस ऍक्ट आहे, पेमेंट ऑफ बोनस ऍक्ट आहे की 3,500चा सिलिंग आहे, त्याला काही मिनिंग राहिलेलं नाही. आम्हालाही चेंजेस पाहिजे आहेत, कामगारांनाही चेंजेस पाहिजे आहेत, मॅनेजमेंटच्या अडचणीचे चेंजेस आहेत, तेही आमची करण्याची तयारी आहे. एकत्र बसून ज्या विषयावर एकमत झालंय ते आधी करावं आणि कामगारांना आवश्यक असलेल्या गोष्टीमध्येही चेंज करावेत असं आम्ही सरकारला परवाच सांगून आलोय. धन्यवाद.
Good evening, friends. Before I express my vote of thanks, just one question which is coming in my mind, which I want to ask specifically to
Mr.
Dr.
Pradhan,
Saab.
I mean, I wanted to suggest something. So I wanted to suggest something. You are closing down now?
I'm just putting one question.
All right, okay.
Please go ahead.
No, I have a suggestion for you and Mr. Puri. My name is Alok. Anna Sahab, एक suggestion ये है कि when can we see our labor legislation changed? There should be a timeline. Mr. Modi is going so aggressive in Make in India. He should also set up timelines. So आपके नजर में एक timeline होना चाहिए. आपको suggest करना चाहिए government को कि within this time the law is going to change or the law is going to be flexible. Then only we can achieve this Make in India. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. That is point one. Second suggestion from our side is that whenever these inspectors they visit, let it be factory inspector or ESIC or PF or whatever, whoever. First, this Inspector Raj, as Mr. Modi has said, has to go, should go, not only for factory inspectors, but for all these inspectors. Because all these inspectors should also take the ownership to make the industry run in the specified manner. They should not become the boss and they should not become a terror for the industry. So if a model or organizational structure, I mean if you take it from that, can be made, which is a combination of the ministry, the entrepreneurs and the unions. If these three forms can form a forum, I mean the group, and this group evaluates the performance of all the laws in that region. Regional एक हम बना दें जिसमें कि ये सारे members हैं, एक steering committee kind of a thing. And quarterly if you review these performances of these inspectors and commissioners, things will improve. अभी आज क्या है, inspector comes, there's a problem. His objective, उनका objective काम को ठीक करना नहीं है, उनका objective है to dig out what are the problems so that he can make money. Okay, so once we come out of this making money habit, if you want to increase their salary 5 lakhs per month, make it 5 lakhs per month. But if he takes corruption, then he has to be punished, which is not happening. The inspector is going to make money. So let us come up with such things with the ministry, with the central government, so that, Make in India can be successful. Otherwise, whatever Mr. Lavin does, or any one of us try or do, first coming is difficult, and even if they come, running is difficult. So let us join hands together and see how we can, take it forward. And it can go through IMC. That's my suggestion.
I think it's a very good suggestion, which I look at it.
Thank you, sir.
You want to answer this or can I answer his question first?
He wants to add something.
No, there are two things. One, जैसा आलोक जी ने कहा कि मतलब there should be a time limit. When will the government formulate the laws or the changes in a time limit? Now, I'm just having a naughty thought. जैसा एक कहावत है कि man proposes and God disposes. यहाँ पे ऐसा है कि मोदी proposes and union disposes, because you must have heard अन्ना जी कि भाई ये अन्ना जी, the BMS being the BJP union is leading the forefront of agitation, opposing all the changes in labor laws. आपने पेपर में भी पढ़ा होगा, and they are all supported by C2, Congress, etc. So there is an opposition to the changes in labor laws. So, well, I'm not able to answer your question about the time limit. But, no, this is a suggestion well taken. In fact, our endeavor is also that, let me also share with you, gentlemen, that even when Nawab Malik was the labor minister, it was our chamber who has then assisted him free of charge to make changes in labor laws, and we were the second state in India in 2005 to have a single window compliance rule. It is there since 2005. Nobody knows about it because Labour Commissioner has not disclosed it. Go on the notification, see the date, it is valid from 2005, single window. My contention was, my factory or my office or my organization, singular, my workmen are singular, the wage they get in a particular month is singular. I'll give you 10 copies, you circulate amongst yourselves. Bonus act में दो, इस act में दो, उस act में दो, मेरे को क्या लेने देना? Why should I go and beg to 10 bloody officers? So we have done that. The flexi hours, which you read in this newspaper of 19th of February, Times of India, was also mentioning about the Nawab Malik, the trial. You will also be surprised to know that 2 years back, I think if some additional Labour Commissioner is present today, he will vouch my statement, that we have done fast tracking of normal labor laws in Maharashtra. For example, I asked them that when a person is applying under Shops Act, you give him a tentative license, valid for 7 days. जैसा हम लोगों को temporary driving license मिलता है. Give it to them. Then you go and check the credentials and then issue the permanent license within 7 days. Let your officers work. We have got these changes done 3 years back. We are ready to help the present Labour Minister also. In fact, we met up with Mr. Jawale. I met up with him and I told him that if you empanel us, then we are ready to help you. Otherwise, काम आप करवा के लोगे और बोलोगे हम लोग ताली बजाएंगे तो I am not interested. This is what I have given the offer to the government. We are ready to work positively. We are ready to work hand in hand. Unions have also said it. Management has also said it. There is a need of the hour. We have to be competitively competing with the world and internally amongst the states. So I'm with you on this.
My dear friend correctly said about, I would like to say that can't we have a process design mechanism to decide the critical parameters, to take employer, employee and the government, and there should be a statutory body involving all these three parties to decide on the critical parameters for the labor reforms.
In fact, the government of Maharashtra, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra has directed the Labour Minister to prepare a report within 1 month. Apparently, that is one of the reasons why today the Minister, though committed, including Labour Commissioner, though committed, had to leave at the last moment. But what I am told and what we have suggested, they have invited only the management and the unions. We have suggested amongst our Labour Laws Association that you include the lawyers who will help you to simplify the laws. So this has been our recommendation, so that because we are the people who are hearing both the sides on a daily basis.
Right, sir.
So this is our suggestion to them. Now it depends on if they call us,
Thank you, sir.
So, Dr. Saab, just a question to you. That as I mentioned, as I mentioned that medical representatives are asking for fixed timing. Now, you are into medical profession as well as you are a union leader. So, how do you see it, that problem? Now, earlier MRs used to visit as per the mutual convenience of doctors as well as their convenience, and now with the introduction of specific timings and all those things, how you look at it, and as a doctor, whether you support or not, and as a union leader, yes, your stand is known to us, but personally what you feel about it?
हा जो विषय घेतलेला आहे त्याचं मुख्य कारण असं आहे की मी परवाच महाराष्ट्रातल्या मेडिकल रिप्रेझेंटेटिव्हच्या संघटनेच्या राज्याचं अधिवेशनाचं उद्घाटन केलं. तुम्हाला कदाचित माहीत होतं, आणि CITUला संलग्न युनियन आहे. 8 तासाचा कामाचा दिवस असला पाहिजे, हे कामगार संघटनांची मागणी 100-125 वर्षापासून ती मागणी चालू आहे. आणि काही सेक्टरमध्ये हे 8 तासाचा कामाचा दिवस नाही आहे. मेडिकल रिप्रेझेंटेटिव्हच्या बाबतीमध्ये ही एक गोष्ट घडते आहे की सकाळी 9-10च्या सुमाराला जर काम सुरू झालं तर प्रोफेशनमधले जे काही अडचणी आहेत, डॉक्टरची अवेलेबिलिटी आणि ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टी लक्षात घेता त्यांना रात्री 8-8:30 पर्यंत काम करावं लागतं, ही वस्तुस्थिती आहे. आणि म्हणून आमच्या कामगार संघटनांची अशी मागणी होती की याचं 8 तासामध्ये त्याचे वर्किंग आवर्स फिक्स करायला पाहिजेत, आणि ती चर्चा संघटनेबरोबर करून ते फिक्स करायला पाहिजे अशी आमची मागणी आहे. याचा अर्थ असा काही नाही आहे की काम कमी करायचं किंवा कमी तास काम करायचं, हा नाही. परंतु शेवटी जो काम करणारा माणूस आहे तो जर सकाळी 9 वाजल्यापासून रात्री 9 पर्यंत मुंबईमध्ये काम करणारा माणूस आहे, सकाळी 9 पासून रात्री 9 पर्यंत किंवा नाशिकमध्ये किंवा कुठेही, ही सिच्युएशन आपण कंटिन्यू करू शकत नाही. फार्मा इंडस्ट्रीच्या मॅनेजमेंट साईडला FMRIच्या माध्यमातून आम्ही बऱ्याचदा त्यांच्याशी चर्चा केलेली की आपण चर्चा करून त्याच्यामध्ये वेळ ठरवायला पाहिजे. आता आंध्र प्रदेश सरकारने त्याचे 8 तासाचं नोटिफिकेशन काढलेले, महाराष्ट्र सरकारने पण काढलेलं आहे. माझा मुद्दा असा आहे की वेळ ठरवा. तुम्ही जर म्हटलात की MR असं रिपोर्ट करतील की डॉक्टर अवेलेबल नाही आहे, त्याच्यावर संघटनेने खूप पॉझिटिव्ह भूमिका घेतलेली आहे. दर महिन्याच्या 30 तारखेला आम्ही त्या शहरातले सगळे MR लोक संघटनेच्या माध्यमातून बोलवतो आणि डॉक्टरांबरोबरचे अपॉइंटमेंट आम्ही फिक्स करून देतो. म्हणजे एकाच वेळेला एका डॉक्टरकडे खूप MR जाणार नाहीत आणि त्याचं स्प्रेड ओव्हर होईल आणि अशा पद्धतीनं सगळ्यांना कॉल करता येईल आणि 8 तासामध्ये ते काम होऊ शकेल. हे प्रोएक्टिव्हली युनियनने हे घडवून आणलेलं आहे. आम्ही नाशिकमध्ये इम्प्लिमेंट केलेलं आहे, जळगावमध्ये इम्प्लिमेंट केलेलं आहे. या पद्धतीचा प्रयत्न चालू आहे. आणि म्हणून त्या उद्योगामधल्या जे काही स्पेशल कॅरेक्टर आहे ते कॅरेक्टर लक्षात घेऊन त्याच्यामध्ये काही बदल करायचा असेल तर त्याची चर्चा होऊ शकते. परंतु 8 तासाचा कामाचा दिवस असला पाहिजे ही संघटनेची भूमिका आहे. आणि मला असं वाटतं की ही अत्यंत मानवी मागणी आहे, जी मागणी मान्य करायला पाहिजे. तो पण एक कामगार आहे, त्याचं कुटुंब आहे आणि त्याचे पण काही प्रश्न आहे, ते लक्षात घेतलं पाहिजे.
Sandeep ji, thank you for organizing this conference. Actually, what I find is all the industrial laws, whether related to labor, excise, tax, etc., these are all company friendly. Particularly, labor laws are employer friendly as well as employee friendly. Each act provides solutions. Actually, why people are not interested, I mean particularly foreign finance institutions, why they do not want to invest money in our country or multinationals, why they do not want to set up the plant in our country is because of harassment by these government offices. I do not want to disclose my name or my company's name. I'll just write you an incident. A year or two ago, one doctor wanted to visit our factory. He wanted to meet me. I received him. He told me he's a certifying surgeon for the state of Maharashtra. So I said, what work fetched you over here? He said, I'm coming here for a medical checkup of your employees next week. I said, it is not required under any act. My employees are not inhaling any fume or dust, nor we have any hazardous process. He said, no, your factory inspector has advised me. Okay. Now I told him, I will talk to that factory inspector. This is a company which manufacture clothes which are worn by models at Paris, Milan, Rome, etc. This is an automated plant, very sophisticated plant. And at the time of entrance only, I mean entry of employee into our employment, we do conduct the medical checkup, and thereafter we voluntarily carry out. But he said, no, this is must, this is statutory. I said, I will come back to you, give me few days. In the evening, he called me up. He said, your company has to pay 850 rupees for each checkup and I will pay you 20% of that. I said, why are you doing all this? He told me he has paid for his appointment as a certifying surgeon. So this is how the appointments in government machinery are made, and they recover the money by using these provisions or using government machinery, and this is how the employees get harassed. So some solution has to be found out for this. Basically it is corruption in government machinery and nothing else. I do not find, I have been working for last 30 years, I do not find any labor law, if implemented, it is harassing either employer or employee. I worked with all fair employers and I did not come across any problem anywhere, except problem from people like this. I just wanted to cite this example because you can influence government machinery, and that's the reason I cited this incident. Thank you.
So friends, with this we are coming to last session of expressing vote of thanks. Now, before I express my vote of thanks, oh, sorry. Before I express my vote of thanks, when I see to this conference as what is the intake of today's conference, then I will like to conclude on very positive note that by organizing such a conference with the participation of all the stakeholders, when I say all stakeholders, it is union, management and HR managers who are ultimately implementers, are together of a consensus that yes, we need to work together for the betterment, and some correction in law is required with positive mindset. Now, at the same time, I also see that our Prime Minister has declared that Make in India. When he has declared Make in India, and when we see global statistic, we stand at the rank of 142 out of 189 countries to be manufacturing friendly. And our Prime Minister wants that we should be in first 50 as a manufacturing friendly country. Now when we are speaking of progressing for 100 numbers, I think from government side also that mindset is required. And with that thing in mind, today's conference was organized that wherein we were expecting that government participation will be there, but unfortunately to hear our views, government is not present. And now, so that question which comes to my mind is that at the top, MD or chairman declares, I want, my vision is this. Down the line, those who are supposed to implement, how they look at it. We as a stakeholders, as a labor, we are saying, yes, we are ready to work for that. But management, which is government, I think their response is lukewarm or nil response. But still we have to perform because it is our country and we have to think of betterment of our country. So friends, here I express my thanks to our supporters, ICICI Lombard, New India Assurance and Oriental Insurance for supporting this event and today's evening. I also express my thanks to all the dignitaries who were present on the dais and who gave their valuable inputs to our theme, Make in India, and shared their views. I am also thankful to all you participants who actively participated with this session and expressed themselves that what you mean as when you look at Make in India. I am also thankful to the staff of IMC for extending their excellent cooperation and making this excellent arrangement and making this evening a successful session. And I am thankful to the management of IMC for giving us an opportunity as a HR committee to organize such a program and providing all that support. Thank you very much. Dear friends, now with this, I request all of you to join us for a dinner which is organized on the terrace of this building. Thank you very much.